And good morning. It is a lovely Wednesday, and I'm out and about a little bit later during the day for a couple of reasons, which I'll go through now. So, after yesterday, with kind of rainy weather and darkness is starting to kick in, and it's getting more and more harder for me to motivate myself to go out so early in the morning. And for that reason, combined with that rain shower that was flying by all day, then I decided that I would change up my schedule a little bit. So the idea now, moving forward, is that I'll go out a little bit later during in the morning, still around 9 to 9:15, I would say. I would go outside. Then for sure, even during the darker hours here in Sweden, it would be, somewhat brighter, like it is today. Maybe a little bit darker later in the winter time, but still manageable. If I would continue with going out around 6:30, completely during winter, then for sure it would be completely, utterly dark outside, and I wouldn't be able to shoot any video anyway. So that's one part of it. Another part of it is also that I have some expectations at home, of course, to take care of the little one, and make sure that he gets away to school properly. And if I would try to push it later during the day, or if I would try to still push to be out early in the morning, then sort of adjusting to the light, then I wouldn't be able to manage the time there properly. Eating breakfast, make sure he eats breakfast, and bring him to school and so on. So that's also part of it. All of it is about managing expectations, I would say. So there are expectations of me to take care of the little guy in the morning, make sure he gets to school. There's also expectations from myself to be outside walking, and there's a small expectation of myself to make a vlog every day to shoot. So it all ties together in a neat little package. So it's just about adjusting the time slots accordingly. And I'm also not ruling out to just, if time doesn't permit it, because now it is actually during office hours, right? So what I would do then, when I do this adjustment, I would try to try to do some work in the morning, get most of the questions and emails out of the way, so I have sufficient time to do this, and then get back home and continue. If something urgent or something that requires my attention, then during the time, work-wise, then of course I would need to put that on the most higher priority, and then consequently the walk would also be pushed later during the day. Another thing to manage, of course, is my normal routines, right? To have some coffee in the morning, and normally I would drink that during this time, and I don't want to change that routine as much. So for the sake of that, I've been bringing with me a cup of hot coffee made freshly from home into a thermo bottle to keep it warm. So, it still works out. Everything works out as long as you kind of adjust and think about what you can do about the situation, basically. So today's little topic then, I was thinking to talk about managing expectations. And as my manager would call it, manage your managers, to keeping your stakeholders up to date on what you're doing and what you intend to do. And I would say, and I would argue that is one of the more harder things that I have had to adjust in my daily life, especially after starting to work at regular companies and so on. because I was a pretty, I would say that, I don't know but how to say it properly, but not secluded, but I always had my own ideas and my own thoughts on how to do things, and always had an issue with misjudging when to inform my managers on something. And I would say that that still holds true to today, because I think that either you can overmanage or you can undermanage, and it's always about the person that you're trying to, manage. You can say, what are their requirements, what are their expectations. So I would argue that the most important thing, if you are in doubt of such balance, you simply need to schedule a meeting or ask outright to the manager about what is his or her requirements in terms of when do they need to be informed about things. Now, you could just go off the bat and say, okay, I'll inform them about everything. But that doesn't serve any good purpose at all. I mean, okay, you will inform them about everything, but that is not managing them properly. Their expectations are probably not aligned then properly with yours. They probably expect that you will be able to do some things on your own, and that some things are so trivial for them to know about that they wish that they didn't have that bit of information to go through during the day, because for sure they will also have a ton of other things to go through as well. So do yourself and do your manager a favor and ask them straight off the bat, what are your expectations in terms of managing information? How much do you need to know? How less do you need to know about specific topics or in general? Then we can go over to our other managers in life, namely our spouse, your girlfriend, your wife. How would you manage those? And hopefully you have figured that out at some point already, or they have for sure maybe told you. But I would say that a lot of arguments and internal conflicts in the family can be avoided by just aligning with your other half. What is your intentions to do, why you intend to do it, and also to manage the time. How does your schedule look like? So if you can get some common ground on that, like either an app or a calendar where you write things down in a joint matter, so both of you are aware of what you intend to do during the day, then you can avoid a lot of conflicts of time, where somebody books something while you're actually not available, and then that can turn into arguments and why you do this, why you do that. So find common grounds, find a common understanding on what is expected from each other in terms of these things, and also find a common platform that you can share that information between each other.